Hello everyone, thanks a lot for tuning in again to my channel, to my video. So I was just done with the unboxing video. So now I'm currently doing this, of course, now the review video on the Mark 45 Diecast Iron Man from Age of Ultron, Avengers 2, of course, the movie. Now, I think first impression is that this figure is really nice. I think the combination of red, the gold, or the silver or metallic color for that matter really looks good on this particular figure. And it really looks, I would say, slick or even cool. So I think I'm really growing onto this figure, as in I really like this figure, especially after looking at it close up. So as I mentioned, the color combination of the gold, red, silver is beautiful. The legs, actually the legs are quite poseable. So you can see here, as I was trying to pose the leg, this flap came up a bit. So I was a bit shocked. I thought this was broken up or something, but no, it was open up. The flap was open up so that the legs could be posed in this way. So despite being a die-cast figure, I think this Mark 45 is really quite poseable. So maybe let me demonstrate it for you a bit. Alright, I try not to pose too much. As mentioned before, I think many of you would know, I try not to pose too much so that the figure becomes a bit more loose. So I think generally the figure looks good, definitely. I think it's, at first I thought the Mark 46 was beautiful, but I think the Mark 45 in its own way excellent as well, definitely. Right, the overall, the feel, the vibes it gives, Mark 45 is really, I mean, in a league of its own. Even though, of course, Mark 46, I think it's much more popular and much more pricey as compared to the Mark 45. So maybe I'll move on now to the hands. I think there's a big problem with the hands or the wrist or the fist for that matter. You see, this is the one that is on the figure by default, and it's I don't know if you can see it here through the lighting and all, but I can tell you these two are a bit, or I would say quite faded away already. So these are the clenched fists. So maybe I draw your attention to this other fist here. So I think this pair is still of a good and beautiful color. Bright color is still there. And it feels more metallic or die cast, this pair of hands. This tool, you can see, has been quite badly faded. Now, keeping in mind, right, that the person who bought this figure and sold it to me actually told me that he opened it just to check on day one and put it back immediately since day one. So even in a mint in box condition, this has already faded. I would say at least 30% faded away. So it's quite sad. I'm not sure if you're still able to find it in MISB. Even in the MISB condition, I feel there might still be a possibility of it fading even in the MISB condition. So you can see here the hands with the firing accessory or the firing piece has also been faded. So there are different percentages in the fading away. So let me give a quick recap. So this is like still 100% new. It's new, not faded at all. This is like about 30% faded, 30% faded. I think this one is like maybe about slightly lesser, 25% faded. And the ones on the figure, I would say similar to the one with the firing accessory, maybe about 20 to 25% faded away as well. Yeah. So definitely not a very good contributing review from the hands if you want to talk about the overall review or quality of the figure. So maybe next I'd like to talk about the diorama and the stand. So I mean it's good that it comes with both the dynamic stand and the fixed stand. So I think I've mentioned this before in my video. I prefer the fixed stand because I don't like to pose it in dynamic stands because extreme poses will affect or damage the figure in the long run. So I would rather use the fixed stand over here. So it's good that they offer both so that collectors can choose how to pose the figure. Then of course, I at first when I bought the Mark 45, I didn't know that they had a diorama of Ultron. Not Ultron, I think it is the, what is this? This, I think this is a Mark 1 Ultron. I can't remember what these figures are called. So this is quite a beautiful diorama. So I didn't know they had this or they offered this in the Mark 45. So I think the diorama is quite nice, quite beautiful there. So of course over here there is batteries. Okay, and of course a damaged shield and 2 more firing pieces. This, if I'm not wrong, these are laser beams that fire out from I think the hands as well. I think they're supposed to be attached somewhere at the hands, if I'm not wrong. Something like this, firing out, I think. So these pieces, right, they look a bit flimsy, but they're actually quite firm, strong. So there you have it. I think that apart from the faded hands or wrists, otherwise this is an excellent and beautiful figure, definitely. So it's quite a pity and it's quite sad that the arms, the hands or the wrists are actually quite faded. An average of 25 to 30% fading away. Pardon me that I still can't remember what are these called. So they're actually, if I may say, I think they are the minions of Ultron. They came out towards the end. Many of them came out. Many of them came out. I think it's Ultron. It was Ultron's last attempt to attack or destroy the Avengers. So there you have it. That's my review. If you can still find one in mint in box condition or MISB mint in seal box condition, go ahead and get it, because I think that, as I mentioned, even though the hands or wrists are faded, overall it is still a beautiful figure to get, especially if you are an Iron Man collector. Definitely a must-have Iron Man figure, the Mark 45, to add to your collection. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone. As usual, don't stop collecting. Goodbye.